FX, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Good Monday morning, week of the FESJC Fan Fest took place Saturday. That was interesting. We get into all of that. And the field is set.
Field is set.
Top 70 guys, right? So, we know Scotty. We know Rory. We know JT.
Mm-hmm.
We know Spieth. We know Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
All the top 10 players are here. 8 former champions of the FedEx St. Jude Classic are here. All 70 of the guys, minus one, Daniel Berger, a former champion, for whatever reason, at 60, decided not to play. I'm a little shocked at that. Even number 70, Jackson Koiven, who just a couple of months ago, he's going to be in medals, was an NCAA champ. He got in to the field. So you've got the established stars and you've got the up-and-comers.
Nice blend of talent coming through.
I'm going to throw this out. I'm so bummed and angry by the PGA and their lack of a sense of history, their lack of a sense of gratitude toward FedEx. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
40 years, $1 billion spent, and they're just turning their back on the hometown?
Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard one to swallow.
Here's a thought. You know, well, I don't know if you know, but most people who've listened to this show.
Hey, you educate me, though, Dave.
They know I've been the biggest anti-live guy in history. I was appalled by those guys. They all grabbed the money, and in some cases you couldn't blame them. But I just couldn't stand live.
Right.
I got a new thought. Liv's got a new model. In their new model, if they retain their stars, they'll have enough investors. Instead of $30 million purses, which is what they've had with the team aspect of it, they're going to $10 million purses. They'll still, if they retain their stars, Rahm, DeChambeau, this Joaquin Neiman, who keeps on winning, Lee Westwood, although he's aged for sure, but he was in the mix yesterday. You got bigger stars that live than you would have on the Challenger Series. You've got a $10 million purse. That's the new model. You know what a Challenger purse is?
How much would that be?
$4 million. So you'd have 2.5 times the purse,
right,
and you'd have stars. Maybe Memphis should drop the PGA the way they dropped Memphis and try to get a live event. I know, it's sacrilege that I would make that statement after all the hard line I've taken against live.
But it makes sense, Dave.
But after what the PGA did to Memphis, I think it's something to think about, that is for sure. One last story, we get into medals. Is the name Daryl Cattell, I think it is. Does that name mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
He's the guy that purchased and is going to restore, or was going to restore, the Memphis Motorsports Park.
Okay.
He's been sued by Elon Musk's XAI because he's a big hot rod guy. That's his love, but his company has done other things to amass his millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
So he was supplying space or XAI with things. He overbilled XAI, according to XAI, $570 million. Ooh. And they say with that fraud, he siphoned it to the motorsports park and other things that have to do with his passion for hot rods. I don't know where that money is. When I go to Miramichi, I drive right by that motorsports park. Right. They haven't done a darn thing. They say racing is back. They haven't done a darn thing. So I have no idea where that money is. But if this is true and he's being sued, folks who love Memphis Motorsports Park or love motorsports in general, this thing ain't coming back too soon. That would be my guess. On Mondays, I do a thing. I don't know if you've done anything, Jay Ham, because you weren't sure if you would be here, or Darian Newsom. I get it. But I do a thing called Precious Metals. I'm going to start bronze medal. Kayla McBride of the WNBA. She plays for Minnesota. They were playing Dallas. She had 10 threes in that game.
She was on fire.
10 threes in that game. That's a new record for the WNBA, and it got her team a playoff spot. Pretty good day for Minnesota. Kayla McBride. The Athletics, the A's, will be the Vegas A's, I guess. Jacob Wilson is their shortstop. He set a major league record for that position with 111 consecutive games without an error.
Ooh.
And think about how many chances a shortstop gets every game. That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Jacob Wilson gets a bronze. I got 2 silver medals. Michael Brennan won the Wyndham yesterday. He gets into the playoffs. Do you know what his FedEx Cup points standings were before? 105. Oh. He moves all the way to 47 with that win and gets into the playoff. He has had 2 wins in the last couple of months.
Okay.
So that is a pretty good story. And as much as the Cubs and Brewers are rivals now, I can't help but admire Jacob Mizorowski. He's the first guy to reach 200 strikeouts this year. It's the second fastest in terms of inning pitched in Major League Baseball history. That dude, almost every pitch he throws is over 100.
I mean, he's throwing gas way into the late innings. I'm scared to even watch the dude while he's doing that.
And then my gold medal, just one. It's going to go to Tiger football enthusiasm. They expected 1,500 to go to FanFest Saturday, which was a ball. It's like a reunion, really. Okay. Seeing so many faces you hadn't seen since the end of last basketball season. And at the end of last basketball season, there were a lot of bum people. Because you're losing Silverfield, you didn't know much about Huff.
Yeah.
You didn't know what kind of team he was going to put together. And then, of course, you suffered through the worst basketball season in 56 years. But this now, Memphis is actually, by the coaches poll, the number 3 team in the Group 6, and the number 1 team by the coaches' votes in the American. So that's all good. So they ended up with 2,300 fans when they expected 1,500.
That's pretty good.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
And during the broadcast, we talked to Cooper Jones, the chief revenue officer, and he said that they will have at least the same attendance numbers they had last year, which I want to say with Arkansas and everything, it was close to 30,000 a game, I believe.
Right.
So they're going to have at least that. And if they were to say, start off the year 2-1,
that'll increase.
or beat UNLV in the first game, I get the feeling the attendance will go up and up and up. The stadium looks gorgeous. It really does. Can't wait to see what the total experience is with the 18-foot, 80-yard-long ribbon. Now, I don't know how they're going to use that. The new Jumbotron is beautiful. You got a video board now on the north side. So it's high tech, new sound system, new better Wi-Fi and cell service. It's high tech. Can't wait to see it, but I must be honest. When you look at it now, you're going, is this thing really going to be ready in time? We'll see. And then my one rust, it's for the weather. This is part of the complaint of the PGA Tour, I guess. You know what Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's weather forecast is?
I'm guessing that heat index will be north of 110.
The regular heat, the temperature is 98.
Yeah.
So that you're probably right around 110 a heat index for every day they play.
Wow.
What a bummer that is. We're going to hook up with TJ Reeves here momentarily. We'll ask him his thoughts on the loss of the PGA Championship event. I'm sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios, and I know we still got the Ultimate Pool Party at least through August. We'll probably have a Labor Day event going on in early September, but it's the ultimate pool party going on right now with the above ground pools for under $4,000. That's a great price. How about in-ground pools that they do now? State-of-the-art, high technology, that's under $50,000, and all in-stock patio furniture that is priced to move. You get a free umbrella and a base with any patio furniture purchase, and if you mention us, say Wolo, say Sports 56, say J Ham, you'll get $200 off the purchase of a pool or a spa. Can't beat it. It looks great. Go see Billy. Go see Lindsay. Go see all the good folks at Family Leisure. I guess we are efforting to get our friend. I talked to him this morning, so I know he's ready. We will chat for sure with him. No doubt about that. And in that meantime, I'll let you know this portion of our program is brought to you by Southern Security. And let me just start off by saying the Southern Security, it's not a bank. It's a credit union. And that means they can do things that other people cannot do. They will offer you rates that other banks can't because they're not for profit. They'll give you flexible terms, no PMI, and always, it's the greatest service. And if you want new technology, you should see the new branch they opened up in Collierville. It is incredible. So if you're not getting the lowest possible rate on your mortgage, and I don't think you can beat Southern Security, you got to give them a call and check it out. 452-7900. You'll talk to a person, or you can go the old-fashioned way, southernsecurity.org. Southern Security, a proud supporter of the Tigers. They were out there on Saturday. They are your home team credit union. Southern Security is federally insured by NCUA. So I know I had a bunch of things we're going to talk with TJ Reeves about, and maybe we're about to hook up with him because I hear in the background my guy J Ham finally has our guy TJ Reeves, and you are a golf historian. You used to go when you were here to the old FESJC. I think they were already at Southwind by the time you got here. I don't know. Did you ever see it at Colonial?
I did see it at Colonial.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yeah.
And are you taking your rightful spot there later in the week as
I
the
am.
playoff event comes?
I am. I'll be in the tower, the FedEx Tower, on 18, doing the PA on Saturday and Sunday. We will be in the hub Wednesday, Thursday,
there we go.
Friday. So we will be out there.
I know you've been talking about this, and we talked, full disclosure, off the air a little bit about the fact that there is real uncertainty because the tour has decided they're going to take not only this event away from Memphis, but the Tour Championship away from Atlanta, right, as we understand
Correct.
it after
Correct.
next year. Right?
There are some bigger markets. This guy wants major markets. They are going to Miami. We know that for sure, which, it doesn't really draw. It doesn't draw like Memphis does. So they've knocked off Atlanta. They knocked off Memphis. They knocked off Detroit, but that might be because Rocket didn't want to re-up for the big money that they're asking.
That's correct on
but
that one.
It's hard for me to fathom that you could turn your back on FedEx and a city that's had pro golf in town. Memphis Country Club, 1913, first of pro event. In the 40s, they had a couple of events at Chickasaw. Byron Nelson lost his 11 tournament win streak. Can you believe 11 in a row? That'll never happen again. And then since 58, there's been a tour event here. It's hard to believe you would turn your back on that. We know FedEx would have paid for a championship event, but they didn't want Memphis. They wanted bigger markets than Memphis. They don't like the heat in August here. You could have moved to the last week of May maybe, but they've opted not to do a championship event here. They have said they would like to do a challenger event. They haven't put it in those words, but they said, we want to keep Memphis in the loop. So that's the only other way they would do it if they've refused to give them a championship
on the
event.
second track, on the challenger track.
So I threw this out today, TJ, which you'll find blasphemous knowing my history and my disdain for the Live. But the Live's new model is for 10 million purses. The Challenger is 4 million. The Live, if they retain their stars, still have some stars. DeChambeau.
Wait a
Rahm.
minute. Have you crossed over to the dark side?
Well,
and you are
listen
now
to me.
suggesting that if Liv survives, Memphis should be in play for a Liv event?
How about this? Right in their face. They should say, PGA, you had no loyalty to us. Why should we take your lesser product after we've been a major player with you for, 68 straight years? And you're doing this to us. Our sponsor spent $1 billion with you the last 40 years. You turn your back on them. We're going to go with Liv because it's 2.5 times the purse.
This is fascinating.
And
well,
stars.
the big key, is, do we have a Liv tour? And we don't know if we have a Liv tour, despite the announcement last week in advance of the New York tournament.
They kind of identified a sponsor yesterday.
Yeah, but the investment is contingent on the whole thing not falling apart because Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm don't want to stick around, the two biggest names.
Right.
It's a contingent investment.
You would not do it. If they don't keep the stars, you wouldn't do it. But if they keep the stars, you make the argument 2.5 times the purse and stars.
Of course. So that is an interesting argument. But let's go back to the bigger picture. Does this mean that FedEx is about to get completely out of the picture with the PGA Tour and no longer be the sponsor of the FedEx Cup? They'll rename it with another sponsor.
I would have to say...
Is that possibly what this is all about ultimately in a year or two?
Here's what I think. I think FedEx made the decision with the new price tag that they're putting on for the position they've held as the Tour main sponsor with a FedEx Cup and FedEx points. I think that decision was made a while ago that they weren't going to re-up for that, which is part of the reason why I think they don't care about Memphis getting a championship event, because that's always been the leverage.
That money has been the money that's kept it in Memphis. And we know, because they switched to Memphis, how long ago has that been now? Like 8 or 9 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago? When was the last June event? That was the one where Dustin Johnson won on the walk-off with the hole out.
Right.
So
you know what?
FedEx,
I don't know.
But FedEx saved it at that point by saying we are spending hundreds of millions of dollars, as you mentioned, and we now want to be title sponsor of Memphis and Memphis to have a better date. We are the title sponsor of the tournament in Memphis and the history and all the things you're talking about. So that's the bigger thing. And so I looked into it a little bit as well. So they're playing the second event coming up back in the St. Louis area, but that tournament is rotated all over the place as a playoff event, and that's obviously what Brian Roloff wants to do.
I think it's Chicago, Boston, and now St. Louis, and so they've moved
it's
around.
Been in Maryland, it's been in Castle Pines, Colorado, the BMW we're talking about. The second playoff event has been all over the place, and I think that's clearly what he's trying to do with all of these events. Bid them out to the highest bidder and make it the bigger deal, because allegedly the best players are going to play there. Although you had the situation last year where Rory McIlroy said, I don't need to play in Memphis.
Yeah,
I'm already in.
He is
all
coming
the way to the
this
Tour
year.
Championship for how high I am.
Right.
So, and they don't have a restriction on you've got to play all the events. So
he's coming this year. Here's the thing. I don't mind not being a playoff event. If they think it's too hot, move it to the last week of May. I don't think you can go much earlier than that because you got to grow grass. But I don't mind that. I just mind that they refuse to let you have a championship event, even though the sponsorship money was there. It's to the best of my knowledge, FedEx said, we'll pay for that. And they just said, thanks, but no thanks.
Interesting. Well, and here, I'm not trying to switch to something else. Here you've had in Tampa Bay the Valspar Championship, which is a huge sponsor of the tour as well as this event. And they have now been moved. They're going to be a second track event here, the Challenger Series, like you're talking about. So they're now going to be in May, and there's a lot of speculation. How long does this stick around when they have Doral, they have Bay Hill, they have Palm Beach, Jack's Course, and they have the Players Championship? They have those 4 events. Is the one here going to be gone away? And this is the same thing with the one in Connecticut. This is the same thing with the Colonial in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
How much longer are some of these tournaments that have been around for 50 years in the same location, like you're describing, 60 years in some locations? How much longer are they going to survive? So on the second track, I don't know.
I would suspect. I don't know about the Colonial, that because they still have the one in Las Colinas or in Dallas. The Byron
but
Nelson.
They've split them up in recent years, and they're going to split it up again, I think, for next year, where it's a couple of weeks apart. It's not back to back anymore.
I've heard Fort Worth isn't happening. It's going to be a challenger.
Right.
And if you're a Memphis and you've been a WGC event followed by a playoff event, and now the top 70 guys in the world or the top 100 in the world, and now you're going to 121 or whatever it would be down to 200. I don't see Memphis buying that. They may, because I guess something is better than nothing by most people's accounts, but it's such a slap in the face. And I don't know. I think it's a hard sell. I don't think.
Well, do we know, is Brian Roloff at the event this week, and is he going to speak further to this, or we don't know at the moment if he's slated to be Memphis for the first playoff event?
If I were him, I wouldn't come, because if he were introduced on 18, I'd say
you might have to have an armored car to get in and out of the property. Might have to have a militia to be able to get in and out. Yeah. I don't disagree, but we shall see what they end up doing. But it's certainly a downer. But that's not for this year, and it's not for next year, and things can sometimes change. Well, I don't know, and maybe that die has already been cast because they know that FedEx is getting out. I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. You would know better. You're closer in that market, and you've been there forever. Are they getting completely out, and there goes the leverage? There goes the money. Because didn't you tell me the guarantee? I know this. The guarantee has gone up to somewhere like $13 or $14 million for these different tournaments.
No. It's 30 to 40 million if you're the title sponsor. You got to put up that cash.
Because, and I guess the ambiguous part is how much is the tour putting up in terms of the purse besides the guarantee?
Well, the purse is $20 million on every championship event. It's $4 million on every challenger. So
there you go. That's a big difference.
Yeah, no, major difference.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt, and we'll see if the playoffs here ramp up and create some excitement. The interesting thing is I was around doing PGA Tour radio for SiriusXM and for the tour when they created all of this and the buzz with all of this, and Phil and Tiger won the inaugural one and won like 3 of the 4 events, literally, in that 2008 season. So you had all of that buzz and all of that build up, and now you just kind of get the sense over the last few years that it's not the same, and the players don't even care the same way because they're playing for so much money in all the other events.
They've made so much money now. I mean,
Scotty
Scheffler never has to play in another tournament again, and he's
correct.
He's 24 or 25, whatever he is.
The times have changed. Yeah. There is no doubt on the money with the golf. But I'm excited that you get to be there again for this week, and you've been doing it for a long time.
Real quick, South Florida not picked in the coaches poll, or at least way down. Memphis was 3rd of the group of 6, tops in the American, but most people think Navy's going to win, and they were next in line of the group of 6, so they were the 4th best of the group of 6 in the coaches football poll. Is there excitement for USF football there with Brian Hartline and a new stadium when that comes next year, right? This year, because Memphis will play in Raymond James. It'll be the last time they play there.
That's right. And so the Bulls will come here, and the Bulls have played here numerous times at Raymond James against USF. So this is the last year of that. Hartline was obviously very successful as the receiver coach, and last year he was the offensive coordinator, I believe, as well, or co-offensive coordinator. So he is saying all the right things, and they have hit the transfer portal heavily with players that are coming in. I mean, it's basically a new roster. This is almost everywhere. They've got a quarterback competition. One of them is the kid Van Buren, who was at Mississippi State 2 years ago when they had the awful season. He also then filled in at the end of last year at LSU after Brian Kelly was fired and played 3 or 4 games. He's the most experienced guy at the big-time level. They have another kid named Jaden Bradford, who was a star at Liberty at quarterback. So they don't have a certainty at quarterback. Remember, the big guy, Byron Brown, was devastating the last 2 years. He's gone to Auburn with Alex Golich. He's gone. So the Bulls don't have a quarterback. They don't have a returning running back of note. They don't have a returning receiver of note. Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln, with USF at the skill positions on offense, Wolo? We got a lot of uncertainty.
That's tough. I've had them as one of 6 teams that might win. I think part of that is because Hartline was considered, of all the new hires, at least the biggest headline-grabbing guy. So we will wait and see. My friend, as always, we appreciate your participation. Next week, we'll talk at 10:25 Memphis time. Is that okay?
Yeah, we'll hang out some more next week. College football will be closer, and the NFL preseason going on, and we got the playoffs in golf. And you didn't even mention the best team in the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays, holding off the Yankees and the Red Sox in the East with like 1/6 of the payroll. So that continues.
I think they have the second best record in the majors behind only
and
the
by
Brewers.
the way, the White Sox did come in here and beat the Rays 2 out of 3. Are we looking at the White Sox and the Rays in the playoffs in the postseason?
Well,
Stay tuned.
I just say this. The White Sox have now a 3.5 game advantage in the division. Most people think the Guardians are going to win, but they're 4 back. They have struggled, even though they made some pretty good moves at the deadline. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. We'll talk next Monday.
Be well, Wolo. See ya.
That's our guy, TJ Reeves. He's brought to you in part by Landers Cadillac of Memphis. I was on the Landers Plaza in the new look Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Let me just say this. Landers is everywhere. Landers, what is it called? The arena in South.
It's the Landers Center.
Landers Center. Couldn't think of that. Which, by the way, there's a lot of work being done on that thing. Yep. Landers Center. They got so many car dealerships. The genius is Kent Ritchie, which I got to try to get on maybe next Tuesday because he loves talking about college sports and college football. But they've also cornered the market on just how you sell cars. They really do. It's because they have the best cars, and the Cadillac is the best of the best. They know how to, they've been doing it for years. He was selling more cars back in the 80s when I first got here than any dealer in America. They know what they're doing. They're the best dealership, and I'm talking the standard of cars, Cadillac. And they've got really good deals going on, and you can save even more if you get the Easy Pass. You go to the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com, and they keep coming. They also pay top dollar for trades. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. We're heading to Pittsburgh. Our friend Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. It'll be his last visit for a while, but we'll chat with him in a moment.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time for the FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament, which means it's time to celebrate at Half Shell and Forest Hill Grill. Both restaurants are teaming up all tournament week long with happy hour, food and drink specials, and giveaways all day long. After a hot day watching the golf tournament, come to Half Shell or Forest Hill Grill. Always generous portions and pours. Enjoy local draft beers, favorite beverages, and happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Everyone is a regular here.
Old Dominick Distillery's award-winning 8-year reserve bourbon is back in Memphis for its second year. Small batch, intentional, and proudly made in Memphis. This is bourbon for the love of bourbon. A slow sipper with a flavor journey that's been refined by time. Find Old Dominick's 8-year reserve bourbon at an area retailer. This pour is reserved for you. Old Dominick Distillery, 305 South Front Street, or online at olddominick.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. The best golfers on the PGA Tour are coming to Memphis to kick off the FedEx Cup playoffs at the FedEx St. Jude Championship starting August 13th. Sport 56 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news. Our coverage from TPC Southwind is brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville, also sponsored by Colonial Country Club, Holly Winter Jewelry, and Huey's Restaurant. Memphis, your Saturday mornings are about to get a little spicier. Get heaping helpings of SEC sports with the Back Porch right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM starting at 10 a.m. Back Porch features experts interviewing big-name guests, discussing big-time topics, and chopping up all things Southeastern Conference. You'll get plenty of facts, opinions, and perspective, all of it about the SEC. The Back Porch, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
It's a sad day. We say goodbye to Mike DeCourcy for a little bit, at least till October. We'll bring him back in as basketball ramps up. College basketball, college football is hot and heavy. But we want to wrap up the World Cup, and the news last week that Mauricio Pochettino was coming back to be the coach of the United States team through the 30 World Cup. Did that take you by surprise, Mr. DeCourcy? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. It did not. I thought that there was a very good chance that would be the direction that he went, especially after flirtations from AC Milan. They talked to him and decided they wanted to go in a different direction. And when that didn't happen, then it seems very likely that there wouldn't be a better job for him than what he has with the U.S. Now, the one thing about it, and we haven't really had an opportunity to ask any questions about this, is that to me, if you're bringing him back, his contract through 2030 has to be as solid as can be. In other words, if another AC Milan becomes interested in a year or two, they can't lose him to that unless they want to.
Right.
They can't be in a position where he just decides that there's a better circumstance for him. He has to be committed through 2030. And so I'm very hopeful that they put an extraordinary buyout in there, that if an exceptional club job came along, it would cost him more money to get out of this contract than it would be worth it. Otherwise, the idea of him being able to bolt just because somebody, I don't know, let's say Manchester United came along, and that's not, that wouldn't be ridiculous. I mean, AC Milan, one of the biggest clubs in the world. He's been the coach at Paris Saint-Germain. He's been the coach at Tottenham Hotspur. Those are all among the biggest clubs in the world. So for another big one to come along wouldn't be extraordinary, and they can't afford to lose that.
I would, as I've read, it's on paper that his commitments seem pretty extensive, because it talks about how he's going to really look into the grassroots and the way we do academies and develop younger and bigger and better. So it sure sounded on paper like this commitment was a 4-year deal.
Right. I just want to see it,
Yeah.
I would want it affirmed. And that's the one thing I'll say about his return is that I felt that if he were going to do another 4 years, it's time for him to learn what it's like to be the American coach, because his comportment after the relatively meaningless loss to Turkey in the group stage of the World Cup was suggestive of someone who thought he was the head coach at Argentina or Spain. And what I mean by that is that in those places, there's so little contact between reporter and source in a lot of cases that it can get pretty harsh, because you don't have any, there's very little in terms of contact. And so if there's not a result, you don't feel all that badly or feel all that withheld from just going ahead and ripping the coach. Now, we have that here some, but the reporters who follow the U.S. soccer team were asking basic questions after the Turkey game, and he was responding as if he were being harangued. And so I think he needs to learn what it's like to be the U.S. coach. And so what happens? They re-up him, and they have no press conference. How can you not be talking to the public now?
That is interesting. Yeah. Oh. Why do you think they opted to do that?
I think it was just because he didn't feel like he wanted to be bothered, and they said, "Okay, that's fine." And that's there have been about 7 columns I've wanted to write since my retirement, And that's one of them. I'd been wanting to say that even as I sat there watching his performance in that press conference. I'm like, if he's going to do this again, he needs to know who he's coaching. And that's not just from like in terms of the grassroots, which he does need to know more about, but also the American public. He needs to understand how to reach through the media to them.
Do you think this run, because it was really good until they lost, changes the way soccer's place in America in the sports scene is? And keep in mind, it's as they build a bigger stage, you got the Women's World Cup next year, and then in LA you've got the Olympic soccer championships. So soccer's going to be front and center now for the next, it'll be 3 years in a row, and then you wait a year and you got another World Cup. So I'm thinking, does soccer cash in America over this period?
What I've been saying is that I think it will be much more incremental this time around. In '94, you're talking about walking into a barren wasteland and throwing up a city. And that's what we did. I mean, we started Major League Soccer, and it wasn't an instant success, and it nearly perished.
Right.
But now it's 30 teams strong and probably on its way to at least 32. And the clubs are much. I mean, when Chivas from Mexico bought in LA to the franchise that I think they're somewhere else now, but when they bought it, it was like $7.5 million in 2005, and now if you want in, it's more than $500 million. And so we have seen a lot of change in MLS, and we've also seen the growth of the sport in terms of how players are developed. We still have problems with this. This is probably endemic to all of our youth sports, where too much of it is you have to pay to play and that sort of thing.
Right.
But
unless you're great, then they figure out a way to
then they make sure they take care of you.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I mean, most of the MLS academies are free, and so they have to identify you, obviously. So you've probably had to pay to get to that level. But once you get into an MLS academy, usually somewhere between 13 and 15, it's on them, and you're part of their operation, and so they're getting better training. Now, some clubs are more committed to that than others. I mean, Philadelphia Union's been wonderful. FC Dallas has done really well. Columbus to an extent, and some others have just kind of just gone through the motions with that. But in general, it's been a success for American youth men's soccer.
Well, all of that is on the upswing and positive. The FIFA scandal with trying to, or at least the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, trying to sell to a hedge fund, getting the European Union all upset, going to boycott, getting everybody upset. Infantino got some pretty poor grades at the end of what was a incredibly successful, at least financial World Cup. Give me your thoughts on all of this.
Yeah, I think that it's hard for me to see how he can go forward, and I don't. Europe, North America, and Asia are all united in the desire to have new leadership, and he wants it to be democratic because he thinks he can still win through the support of Africa and some other countries, some countries spread around the world. He's running out of confederations when you think about it. South America's been pretty non-committal about things. Africa has been pretty supportive of him, although there's some fracturing there. But we saw today a joint proclamation from Europe, from Asia, and from North America against what happened, and essentially saying we need new leadership. They didn't specifically say, Gianni Infantino, you must resign, but they did say we need new leadership. You can't trust leadership that pulled this, and it's not his first time. I don't understand, Dave, a couple of things in life. One is lust for power, and one is greed, and he got trapped into both. And like some others who've been through FIFA have tried to do it through whatever means necessary. I guess we can say at least he tried to do it legally. But, you're making an unbelievable living, and you get to go sit on the 50-yard line of every World Cup game. What do you need? How much more do you need than that, Dave?
Right. What exactly explain what this deal was and why it incensed, especially Europe?
Yeah, well, he was essentially going to sell off a portion of the media rights to the World Cup, and it wasn't that they needed the money. I mean, they have a ton of money. You just mentioned about the World Cup was so unbelievably successful for a nonprofit. They have tons of money, billions, literally, that are available to them through commercial successes in the past. So this was basically done just to try to one, help him make more money. I think what I saw he's going to make. I know he was going to make 8 figures out of it. Now it's clogged in my head whether it was 30 or 60 million.
Wow.
But he was going to make 8 figures out of it himself, and others were going to get a chunk of these television rights, these media rights, for less than market value. So he was just trying to help out people to get richer than they already were, and like FIFA doesn't need that. And they felt like it, and especially the way it was done. It wasn't like, we think we have an opportunity, we're going to talk with it among all our directors. The directors they all think it's a good opportunity, so we're going to take it to you, the confederations. No, this was, we've got this deal. Nobody besides me knows about it, and none of you know about it, but you have to make a decision in 30 days or something like that about whether it's going to go forward. And that was when everybody just said, no, we're not doing this. This is over. The World Cup itself, there were ways in which it wasn't contested in the way that it should have. I mean, there should be at the FIFA level an appeal process when you get a red card suspension. There should be an appeal process. Was this legitimate?
Right.
Because
Right.
There's one of those in every league. Every major league in the world has one, and they have none at FIFA. But then they went ahead and reinstituted Fuller and Balogun anyway.
Right.
They went ahead and waived the suspensions of 4 players coming into this World Cup, including Cristiano Ronaldo. That's not how it should be done competitively either.
So if you were grading Infantino with all that financial success, and forget the politics now, he's most likely gone, but what kind of a job did he do?
I think that he did a good job of commercializing what was already extremely popular. But at the same time, we knew that this World Cup was going to make a truckload of money because we have 80,000 seats a stadium, give or take. And yet they decided that wasn't good enough, that we had to charge exorbitant prices too. Dave, when I went to Germany with Deborah in 2006, now I know we've had inflation since then.
That's 20 years ago.
Yeah. My seat in the end zone cost 40 euros to go see the United States play Italy. If I had the same game at this World Cup, it probably would have cost 800.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about that. Last thing, in about a minute and a half, College Sports Act. We know college sports needs fixing. Is this the right path with the way they have worded this thing?
No. It was designed initially to try to even out all 4 of the major conferences. That was the primary objective, as designed basically by Cody Campbell, the Texas Tech donor. That's basically where this legislation came from, whether they want to admit it or not. It was designed according to the things that he preached about in the ads he did on college football last fall that he self-funded. And so it was never a great idea. And then all of a sudden it gets into the political process. Well, no, I want that, and I want that, and I think this has got to go. And of course, the 2 major conferences, or the 2 most powerful conferences, the 2 significant money conferences, SEC and Big Ten, they don't want that. And, why should we give up what we have? I mean, if you can get up to here, fine.
Yeah, there was going to be some socialism in this where they were going to divvy up some of that money.
Yeah, I mean, they don't care if the Big 12 makes as much money as them if they can do it, but they're not going to give their money to the Big 12 to make it happen, and why should they? Because I'll tell you what, Dave, the Big 12 is not giving their money to help the American. I can tell you that right now.
That is for sure. And they could have been $200 million richer had they taken Memphis last year.
Yeah.
They opted not to do that.
The league's turning their back on Memphis, foolish athletically and commercially.
My friend, I'm going to miss you for a couple of months, but we appreciate your participation. We'll hook up mid-October.
Sounds great, Dave. Have a great day.
Thank you.
My best to your family.
You too. Mike DeCourcy, not retired from the Sporting News, but still doing Big Ten and Fox. Don't forget all of that. He's brought to you by Sheldon. Temperatures are soaring. I'm not kidding. 110-degree heat index. Is that what we're looking at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Crazy. The interest rates and the inventory of homes is climbing too. And when you want to sell your home, you better think about who you're going to call. When you want the job done, you call my guy, Sheldon Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf Realtors, because he sells houses in good markets. He sells them in bad markets. He'll even sell them in terrible markets because he's got a strategy. Don't take it for granted. Your friend, your relative, a neighbor down the street who might be in the real estate business can sell for you. You got to, talk to 2 or 3 real estate brokers. Make sure he's one of them, and then talk to the neighbor. Then see what the strategy is, and I promise you'll pick my guy, Sheldon Rosengarten. That marketing strategy, it makes the difference on when you sell and what you make. In this market, your home needs to be in the sweet spot to beat the competition. It's sweet if you deal with Sheldon. 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. We take the break. We're going to summer golf and games. Our golf guru, the man of 100,000 lessons, Ted Butler, joins us in just a moment.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn Broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger-buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at NapaCafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
The PGA Tour is back in the 901, August 12th through 16th at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Watch the PGA Tour's top players while enjoying free food and non-alcoholic beverages with a Grounds Plus ticket. Tickets available at FedExChampionship.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We missed him last week. Ted Butler joins us now. The FESJC right around the corner. We got the full field. Everybody except Daniel Berger in the top 70 is here. All the top 10, 8 former FESJC champs are in the mix. Are you all geared up and ready for this? Good morning, Ted.
Good morning. Yes, I'm always geared up this week. It's kind of the busiest week of the year for me. From people coming in from out of town, coming to see the tournament, and everybody wants lessons, and it's the best week Memphis could imagine for sports. And what a great thing it is.
What a great thing it is this year and next year. What did you think about the news that the PGA Tour is turning their back, will not give Memphis a championship event? I do think in the offing they would like for there to be a challenger event here. You like that idea? Would you buy into that idea? Do you think it will sell?
Well, it's certainly better than nothing. They're not going to come back like it used to be. That's pretty obvious. But 2 years from now, we don't know what even a challenger tour is, and they don't know either yet. But I'd certainly like to see something come back. We've been around for a long time and deserve it with St. Jude, and I'm not sure what they'll do, but I hope they do something, put it that way.
Well, I think it's up to the powers that be here to put on the challenger event. And it's hard to go from being major league at the top, the playoffs, the old WGC to being, basically 121 to 240. That's a big drop.
Yeah, it might be hard to get spectators. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it though.
I will say this. It means you do see the up and comers, and guys like Jackson Coyven. Although, my gosh, the guy a couple of months ago, Jackson Coyven was winning his second straight NCAA title for Auburn, and now he's made the playoffs. So there are so many young guys. Michael Brennan, who just won this week. Bo Hostler, who was in the hunt last week. There's so many guys that are up and coming. Do you ever think we'll see domination? Like we had Scotty Scheffler dominate the tour last year, so it can still happen. Rory got his career Grand Slam, but he hasn't really done a whole. He did win the Masters again this year, but he hasn't done much after that. Do you ever see the day where we will have a guy win 7 or 8 times in 1 year? Like, how many times did Scotty win last year? 6, maybe it was more.
Something like that. But no, I don't. I don't think so at all. There are too many good players coming from everywhere, and just like Coyven and guys like that, they're trial tested. College golf now is like playing the tour itself, and then Korn Ferry takes you a step up above that. I don't see how anybody can dominate anymore. It would shock me. I expect Scotty to keep winning. I just don't see a dominant figure now. There's just too many.
It's great. Well, I know this for sure. I suspect there could be a guy that could dominate for a couple of years, who just gets on an incredible hot streak the way Scheffler did. And, he's only got the 1 win early this year, and then he's had, 4 or 5 runner-ups. So, he's always in the top. He missed 1 cut. I think he had 1 24th place finish, and everything else has been top 10. So he still kind of dominates, and he's still world number 1. I could see that. I know this much. In 1944 or 45, Byron Nelson's 11 tournament win streak came to an end. That will never. First of all, nobody will ever play 11 straight. And nobody can.
And it ended Chickasaw too.
I know it. Nobody can ever win 11 straight again. I don't think.
No, Tiger won 7, and that's probably untouchable as well.
That is crazy. Speaking of nice runs, we know Rachel Heck, former student of yours, had a great collegiate career, opted not to become an LPGA player. She did not want to live that lifestyle of traveling and not having family and everything else. I think she was sort of looking at the military. I don't know exactly what she's doing. She can do whatever she wants to do. But I do know that she got back into amateur golf, made it through the medal round, got into the playoff bracket, and ended up getting knocked out, but not until the round of 16. That's quite a good story for somebody who hasn't played competitively for a couple of years.
It's a fabulous story, and she started in here when she was 7 years old, and
wow.
she's the best female player ever in Memphis by miles. And we talked about it early on in college about her turning pro or not, and I met with her family, we discussed the whole thing, and she just didn't want that lifestyle of, play a tournament every week, go to a different hotel every week. She wanted more to do, and now she's an artist, she's in the military, she's in the financial world, and still a great player.
Wow.
And making the final 16 is unbelievable.
Is she living here?
No. I'm not sure. I think she lives in California. I'm not sure, though.
Well, she was here. We actually inducted her into the Memphis Amateur Sports Hall of Fame. She'll end up being in the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame sooner or later. But she made the Memphis Amateur Sports Hall of Fame. I didn't have a chance to really sit down and talk with her. She's just an amazing human being. Actually, the Heck family is just phenomenal. They're exceptional.
Well, she went to Stanford, and the other two girls went to Notre Dame. Dad was a major doctor. Yeah, it was a great family. I spent a lot of time with them when they were younger.
So you didn't tune her game up for this amateur?
No.
What did you watch some of it? What did her swing look like? Is it still back? Is it back to the principles of red line, blue line that you love so much?
Yes. And she's gotten stronger too. She's not that skinny little girl she used to be when she left. She's bulked up a little bit and hits the ball really far. Her swing is great. It's been great for a long time. Just a matter of, do you want it?
Yeah. All right. Give me who you think wins the FESJC, and give me your favorite FESJC moment or two.
I'm going out on a limb, and I'm picking Justin Thomas.
What?
I think he's
Justin Thomas?
Justin Thomas. Yes, I got
he's in it. He's in it.
Oh, he's in it. He's been playing better week after week, and he's used to hot weather. I was thinking about Oberg, but he comes from Sweden. He can't play when it's 98 degrees.
No.
But JT is, he's used to. I'm just a thought.
Okay. You got a favorite moment or two?
Well, I don't know if it's a moment or not. I guess Guyber is 59.
Oh yeah, of course.
You have to count that. And I did get to play with Trevino a practice round that year too. So those were highlights for me. But other than that, they're all good. Justin Rose last year birdied 4 of the last 5 holes and win the playoff. That was pretty exciting.
I think the walk-off 7-iron or whatever the heck that was, the DJ hit on 18, Dustin Johnson, back many years ago, that's got to be up there. Kept going. He won extra money because he fulfilled like 3 different bonuses he got. He made the most money then before the money was like crazy, super nuts like it is now.
And didn't Greg Norm make a 30-footer on the last hole to win at one time?
Yeah.
Remember that one too.
Lee Trevino, Dave Hill, they dominated when this thing was at Colonial. If they don't use TPC Southwind, let's say they got a live thing event here, they should go back to Colonial. By the way, it's in as great a shape as it's ever been now that Heritage has taken over. So just some thoughts.
Every course in Memphis has gotten better now. I mean, you drive around, look at the public courses, they're unbelievable.
Oh my God, they're unbelievable. I'm glad you said that because you are brought to today by Memphis Public Golf Courses. And they've got a driving range at Audubon. They're going to put lights up, and they're going to put the tracer things on there like you've got at Summer Golf and Games. I mean, they are going. That thing is a money machine. They are doing so well. But you're right. They've made that driving range incredible. All the courses with the redos are just outstanding. They are honestly. Even Overton Park, which you and I have played in the parent-child competition.
Yeah, I played there a couple weeks ago. And
it's in great shape.
It's immaculate.
Yeah.
I mean, really. And the Galloway, drive by Galloway, it looks like a TPC course.
It does. It's beautiful. You're right. You're right about that. Ted, if I don't see you out at the FESJC, I know I'll talk to you next Monday.
Okay, got it.
Thanks. You. We appreciate it. That is Ted Butler on golf. And again, he's brought to you by Memphis Public Links. Go to memphispubliclinks.com, get all the info, see about all the tournaments they are providing now, and make your tee times there. It's so easy, and they are so good. That'll do it for us. Johnny Radio right around the corner. We'll talk to you right